Well, good morning / good afternoon, children. This is super awkward, and it's basically going to be like I'm there because I make everything super awkward. So anyway, these are your notes for the day. It's not that bad. It'll be all right. It's a little bit of everything. So we're going to go through editorials, how to write them, plus some extra journalism know-how is what I'm calling it, but it's just basic journalism vocabulary because you guys are basically going to be journalists for the next 2 weeks. So without further ado, and my nails are gone, sad day for me. Miss Carter's laughing at me. Okay, oh yeah, I got super fancy with transitions, guys. Okay, sorry if I'm talking really loud, the phone's really close to my face. Okay, so what is an editorial? So an editorial essentially is an opinion piece that's aimed at influencing public opinion, it's promoting critical thinking, and most importantly, it's causing people to take action on a particular issue. So they're always pertinent, they're always current. Usually they are about a hot button issue is what some journalists will call it. But overall, they are meant to persuade the audience to do something, to cause them to have a reaction, to make a change in something. Like something that's a hot issue now is immigration and Trump's border wall proposition as to why he has decided to close down the government for so long. But anyway, lots of editorials being written about that, so look it up if you have the chance. So that's what the editorials are. Clicky, clicky. It's very weird that I'm not there. Okay, so there are 4 basic types of editorials. There's the explain and interpret editorials, which are just basically explaining things and just giving you the straight facts, okay? And then there are editorials that are aimed at criticizing, either constructively, like, hey, I'm just trying to help you out. Here are some ways that you could improve this topic or this issue that I'm writing about. And then there's, of course, the most common, which is persuade. It's to, get some support for a political movement. It's to get someone to take action in their local government. It's to get lots of things. Persuasion is probably the most popular and the one that we're going to be focusing on because we're doing fact and opinion and using those to persuade our audience. And then, of course, there are editorials that praise and are just commending and making people aware of the good things that are going on in terms of good, hot topic or current issues that people need to be aware of. And again, that one is not as common as the other 3. So you've got explain, criticize, persuade, and praise. Capiche? Capoche. Okay, so this begins the how to write the editorials. So, of course, always begin with an introduction, introduce your problem or your situation, the thing that you're going to focus on, and take your stance. Your stance, when I say stance for the next couple of weeks, is your thesis statement, that thing we practiced at the end of the first semester with your performance tests. It's your basically the backbone or the cornerstone, the anchor of your entire argument is focused in that thesis statement. So remember to commit to one side. There is no, well, I kind of believe this, but I also kind of believe that. No. You stick to one side and you believe it and you sell it, you persuade your audience. Because the second you start to go to one side and the other, you look weak, no one will believe you, and then they're not sure if you're trustworthy or not. So you've automatically lost your ethos and your credibility as a writer and as someone with a knowledge and a background base in that specific topic that you've chosen. So when I get back next week, or technically Friday, but next week we'll start your editorials. So that's when you're really going to need these notes to use as you go through the writing process. Click. Okay, and then I'm going to move, sorry. And then you continue with your body paragraphs. So every paragraph should be focused on a different reason, which proves why your opinion or your thesis statement is correct. So 3 is just a magic number in terms of paragraph structure. So you'll have your intro, your 3 body paragraphs, and your conclusion paragraph. But in your editorials, you'll have 1 extra piece, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. And within those 3 body paragraphs that I'm going to have you guys do, you need to have 1 focused piece of evidence in each body paragraph. I don't want you to get 15 pieces of evidence in one, 2 in another, and 14 in the next. A, too much. B, you're not focused. It's too much going on, and your reader is going to get lost. It's going to look like you're not quite sure, so I'm just going to pull everything from everywhere, and that's a no-no. We're not doing that. Okay, so in terms of evidence, you're going to get quotes from other sources, so your research, and then, of course, I can't speak. Of course, the devil is in the details. So the more details you give, the more meaningful those details are, the more likely your audience is to believe you. And then, like I already said, aim for at least 3 body paragraphs. It's just something that has always worked. You build from it if you feel like you need, or one specific topic that you're talking about needs more information, then we'll talk about it from there and see if you can add a 4th body paragraph. But we'll see. Okay, don't freak out. However, with the 3 body paragraphs, that also comes from how we structure our thesis statements. So remember, you had to have 3 reasons why that proved your opinion or your stance. That's where the 3 body paragraphs come from. So whatever your first reason is what your first body paragraph is about. Your second reason in your thesis statement is the second body paragraph, and so on, and so on, and so on. So there's that. It's just structure. It works, and then we can build from it and kind of tweak it as we see fit. Okay, this is a part where a lot of you are going to struggle, and it's going to be okay because it's a good struggle. So this is where you will sprinkle in the counter argument. That's that extra piece that no other, essay that we've done so far has required. Because with editorials, yes, you have to focus on your opinion and how you're going to prove that you're correct, but you also have to address the people who are going to argue against you. You have to give them credit. Like, hey, I believe X, but these people believe opposite, and here's why they are valid in their opinions, but here's why I'm really right, okay? So you're giving them credit, but you're not letting them win, okay? And it makes you look better. It makes you look more open. It makes you look more, able to see the other side, but you still have to be firm in your opinion. So that's where it gets a little tricky. And like I said,
the rebuttal in their CER.
Thank you. And as Ms. Carter says, it is the rebuttal in your CER, which was my next bullet because she's a freaking rock star. So anyway, it's the rebuttal in your CERs in science, regardless of, I guess, who you have for science. We're not going to, never mind. It's going to be fine. So anyway, it's the rebuttal in your CER, and that is what I will refer to it as. The 2 are synonymous: counter argument, rebuttal. It's giving that extra, effort in, hey, I see you over there, my friend, and I'm going to give you some cred for that, but I'm still right, okay? And there are some ways to start it down here. Others may argue, some opponents state. However, on the other hand, those are some basic transition statements that we've talked about. So yeah, sprinkle in the counter argument / the rebuttal. Clickety clack. Okay. And then in your conclusion, instead of calling it a conclusion, I like to call it a solution or a call to action. So you're answering questions like, how can this problem be solved? What can be done to help? How can the audience get involved with that topic or issue that you are focusing on? So one of your topic choices for your editorial project is going to be animal abuse. Okay, and you can list, or maybe not list, but explain reasons or ways that the audience or people that are reading your piece can get involved in stopping animal abuse, or at least bringing it more recognition than it already has. There are tons of editorials. I just read one the other day that is basically calling to action saying, hey, people who abuse animals, it doesn't need to be a minor crime. It needs to be like a federal offense. So they need serious jail time. So if you make it a pertinent issue, if you make it something that is kairotic and relevant, people are going to want to make change, okay? So show the audience that you've thought of ways to resolve things and not just whine and complain about how they need to be changed. Show them how they can be changed. How can this problem be solved? How could this problem be eliminated, okay? Clickety clack. Okay. And then finally, at the end of that call to action is where you restate your opinion. And restate does not mean copy. Restate does not mean what? Copy. Okay? Because if you just copy it down, then we're not even going to address what that looks like. That's a no-no. Don't do that. Okay? So make sure that you change up your wording just a bit so that you don't sound repetitive. Repetitiveness is your enemy in terms of editorial writing or just writing in general. Clickety clack. Okay, so this is where it transitions over from editorial focus to just kind of general journalism terms. And we're going to go into a little more detail with this the week that you guys do your editorial project, which is the week of the 11th. So this is just kind of intro information, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what is journalism? Journalism is gathering facts, assessing, creating, and presenting news and information to the public. That's as easy as it is. And then some basic journalism notes, some terms. Bias, okay, that's prejudice toward or against a certain thing, a certain person, a certain group. Like I am biased toward the Saints because who wouldn't be? You guys are biased toward the Cowboys because you have bad taste. But we're not going to talk about that because I'm not there to defend myself. And yeah, but anyway. So it's considered unfair and it's a definite no-no in the journalism world. And you'll see why in 2 seconds. And I just got an email. Thank you. Get away from my screen. Okay. Next is subjective. So what that means is that you are influenced by personal opinions, or that piece that is being written is influenced by your own personal opinions, which is a no-no in the journalism world. Journalists need to be objective, okay? Objective. If you put a star next to that, highlight it, underline it, whatever you need to line it, that is the key to good journalism, is being unbiased and as neutral as humanly possible. Okay? You present the facts and then let the world do with it what they will. Let the world form their own opinions based on the facts that you have presented to them. So that is ideal and expected in the journalism world. And then the next three are just good terms to know. So we've got bandwagon. That's journalists who continuously report on the same topics, sticking to major trends just to get more readers. They're not doing it to help anybody. They're just getting on the bandwagon. Like some of you guys are bandwagon Cowboys fans who are only...
Bandwagon haircut.
The bandwagon haircut. Oh, we had a whole discussion in the vehicle on the way to San Antonio about that terrible bandwagon Saul, Alejandro, Gio, who else? Did I say Alessandro already? Alessandro. Yeah. There's so many of y'all with that terrible, what is the name, Carter?
Vector.
Vector.
Yeah.
That terrible Vector haircut. That is bandwagoning, and it is a bad thing. We do not like it. It's a sad, sad face. See, this is terrible. This is why we could never teach together, because we'd be doing this all day long. Okay, but anyway, bandwagon is bad. It's just doing the same thing that everybody else is doing because you think it's cool and you're going to get some credit for it. And that haircut is never going to be cool. So, just figure your lives out by the time I get back. Maybe get some gel or something, but that's also a bandwagon thing too. Anyway, enough with the terrible Vector hair. Next is yellow journalism. So yellow journalism is sensational or hyperbolic stories. Okay, hyperbolic. You see that? See that lovely word there? Okay, that's similar to a word that we discussed last week called hyperbole, right? Exaggeration, over-exaggerating stories. Okay, I put that in there for a reason. Why did I put hyperbolic? To connect the two. Merry Christmas. Okay, so yellow journalism is just super sensational. I'm writing this to get as many readers as I can, even if some of the facts are a little bit, stretched, to say politely. Okay, so lots of examples of that. I tried to link a video, but obviously I'm not as tech savvy as Miss Carter, so, I'll do what I can. Anyway, then we have muck raking, which is basically people looking for certain stories or certain topics that are scandalous, that are gonna do what?
They're the drama stirrers.
Yes, so the stirrers of the drama are the muck rakers. So muck is like crap. Okay, so and raking is like stirring, so you're literally stirring the crap. Okay, not literally, metaphorically stirring the crap. Stirring the crap. Okay, honestly, we're having a really good time in San Antonio. But anyway, and it's aimed at harming the person that they're writing about. It's aimed at harming their reputation. So it's not usually a good thing, except for the writer is trying to get as much recognition as they can so that they can get their name out there and get their name attributed to a story. They don't really care about the repercussions or the bad stuff that happens. They just want their name and their money. So like paparazzi are muckrakers, the people who constantly follow Kylie frickin' Jenner or whomever. It's muckraking journalism. A lot of your tabloids, like People and I don't even know tabloids anymore. What are they? Star and so many. There's so many. Those magazines are what's that one? What's it called? Where they always think that an alien baby's being born. The National Enquirer. Okay, the little like crappy magazines that you see at the checkout counter, like as you're checking out at Walmart. That's muckraking. Okay, they're just getting scandalous stories with the biggest like picture of the pregnant lady who's not actually pregnant, or a baby that was born and its dad's an alien. That kind of stuff. Just making it sensational, just to harm other people or just get attention. Okay, it's just not worth it. Oh my gosh, and that's it! Yay! Okay, hopefully you survive without me, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, so that's it. Have a good rest of your day, or, stuff. Okay.